Yeah, let me turn it off. And I'm on a different mic because I just like to change mics like by the hour. So. Okay. All right. So I see your screen. Oh, go ahead.
Go!
Do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Austin, Texas for tonight's CIL Formula C race from Circuit of the Americas and the Texan Grand Prix. I'm Matthew Nordberg. Joining me up in the booth for tonight's wonderful race is going to be Josh Crane, and we're coming to you live from Circuit of the Americas. Looking forward to a great race here tonight on one of the shorter layouts here at COTA. Only about half the track's being used here, Josh, tonight. It's going to be an interesting race for sure, as this is a track that is not too often used in iRacing, to be honest.
Yeah, if you are familiar with Circuit of the Americas, that track map certainly looks a bit cut off, but that's on purpose with these F4 cars. It was determined that the backstretch was a bit long, a little bit too much time to think for some of these students. So, yeah, Matt, it's a hot one down here in Texas, as it would be. The air is about 86 right now, and that sun is getting to that track unabated as is. And so, about 112 or so on the track, and practice was even warmer, like 130. So all those degrees are in Fahrenheit, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky for these drivers who are trying to find the grip that they want. And as we are still here in the early fall, that's going to be the case. And so these drivers are going to do their best to find the grip that's available. And this track is going to be really exciting. A lot of talk tonight, Matt, about off tracks, what they mean for these drivers. They get 13 per race, 13 incident points per race. By the way, that doesn't include any 4X or 2X that these drivers might incur. But these drivers are going to have to get that sorted out. And then, yeah, at 18X, 18 incident points, it's simply a disqualification from the event. Now, if it happens in Heat 1, you can come back for Heat 2. That's no problem. But it's going to be tricky as these drivers try and get through the corners, get through the S's, as we see some drivers trying to sort themselves out in qualifying. That's going to be some of the stories here, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to feel a little weird because this track, while it still is fairly long for a Formula 4 car. As you see Alex Diamond from Drexel did a little loose in turn 1. It is shorter than you'd expect out of the Circuit of the Americas, obviously running kind of a shortened version. And I think we're going to see some jockeying for track position, especially at the start of qualifying tonight. Probably once everything gets settled out, it's probably going to calm down a little bit here in qualifying as our drivers start to get into a rhythm and set their lap times. But it'll be interesting to see how they navigate kind of this middle sector between the S's and kind of the end of the back straightaway. It's not something that they might have encountered before. It's not a very often used layout on the iRacing service.
No, it's not. It's a bit awkward, and you'd like to leave it even just as a boring 90-degree turn almost. But they haven't. Next time we see it, we'll see that there's a little bit of a kink before the true left-hand turn onto the remainder of the Circuit of the Americas backstretch right there. So, yeah, that'll be tricky. Somebody's going to try and go through there too wide or so, probably later in the race, probably Heat 2, to be honest. They'll be very unhappy with the outcome, but when these drivers are here and competing against one another, sometimes that is going to happen, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. As Thomas Toomey set the lap time here, about 6/10 behind our current provisional pole time of a 131.831 set by the ever-quick R. Muhammad Alif out of Ball State University. And I think we're right on board here with Thomas Toomey now for a second out of the University of Virginia. Going down through turn 2, we're going to see that middle sector you were talking about, Josh, where you'd like it to be a quick 90-degree corner, but it is a little bit of a chicane as Thomas Toomey navigates through his S's nows.
Yeah, it is, and there's not a lot of oversteer in this car, as there's a car wide there, and here you go. You'd like it just to be straight, but you got to eat all the curb you can, but don't get the off track, and there you go. Actually, Toomey did a nice job right there of carrying a lot of that speed out onto the backstretch for the Virginia team. Right there, gathers it up a little bit. And yeah, it's going to be the case when these drivers are trying to get the car to turn into these corners. We're going to see some over rotation. We're going to see some spins on the entry, Matt. That's part of it. So we're going to see these drivers working hard. We've even heard some that, yeah, this doesn't suit my driving style. And yeah, a lot of drivers going to have to adjust to the environment.
Yeah, for sure, Josh. Track tip out there is very, very warm right now, we mentioned earlier, so I think that's going to contribute a lot to seeing these drivers really slide the tires around and really wrangle the car around some of these corners, especially the high-speed ones, because that's, in this track, so many corners around here are so fast. Essentially, the entire first half of the lap, except for the first corner, are all fast and high-speed corners as Thomas Toomey sets a lap time there and pulls into the pits. But right now, still Muhammad Alif on top right now, 5/10 in front of Thomas Toomey out of the University of Virginia as he navigates his way through these S's now.
Yeah, and we see that from the Virginia team there because typically we say get the tires up to temperature, but right now the game is going to be keeping those tires under the desired operating temperature. So yeah, you do a quick lap, those tires are starting to overheat even by the end of one lap. So that's why you saw Toomey take that car back behind the wall and head up, but we will keep that in mind, Matt, when we go through lap 5, 10, and 15 in these 15-lap heats. And you can consider how hot these tires may be. But riding on board now, sliding that rear end around is R. Muhammad Alif there, Ball State University. Something, you know what, I think he just grabbed an off track on that lap right there. But Wingate University is going to try and have something to say about this situation. Right now, sitting third in qualifying and being the second car on the inside row there is not a bad place to be. You can assume that Ball State will have a good start right there, and that should be a really good opportunity for Jake Cummings and Wingate University, but would love to have the feather in the cap and have that position move up over Thomas Toomey. But as we say that, Matt, looks like Cale Davidson. Oh, Ball State University takes it away momentarily. Cale Davidson puts that car third, but Jake Cummings takes it right back by about 20 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, Cale Davidson, they're only a handful of car lengths in front of Jake Cummings, so Cale jumped up the timing tower and Jake Cummings snatched that one right back. Could barely have time to celebrate it before the Wingate machine was able to reclaim that third spot, Josh. But yeah, you mentioned it, that it's very easy to get off tracks here. You see a lot of these corners, especially in some of the high-speed sectors, where you want to take as much curb as possible, and that's something that we haven't really seen a lot of this season. A lot of the tracks we've gone to have been kind of old-school classic tracks where you really have to keep the car on the asphalt, places like VIR, where there's absolutely no asphalt runoff, and you can't really abuse cutting corners, because if you did cut a corner, there'd be dirt or grass or something that's not going to be as fast as the grippy black stuff. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how our drivers adapt tonight, because I think when they're racing side by side, they're going to think that maybe they can cut a corner here, take a little bit extra curb there. Well, compared to the last couple of weeks, they haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly the case. And as we get here to the end of qualifying, Jake Cummings retains that third position. But tell you what, up in 10th position right now, just got jumped down to 11th, was Mark Turek, who made a debut at Oran Park for the Pennsylvania College of Technology last week, and is looking at to improve right there, which it is 11th position. Is a step up for that crew, but again, we see Ball State, Lucas Moody in the 5th position. He's got that car hunting right now, and I do see that Cale Davidson has moved his Ball State machine into the 2nd place, and so there are a number of weapons there if you are that school from Indiana.
Yeah, for sure. Ball State super quick right now, 3 cars in the top 5. Another school with a couple drivers in the field tonight, St. Clair College, looking at Athena LeClaire right now, currently in the 7th spot. ahead of her St. Clair College teammate and Tristan Leclerc, who's currently sitting 18th at the moment. Good lap from Athena Leclerc. Got on the podium in one of our races last week at the Australian Grand Prix at Oran Park. So she's hoping she can continue her good form. Another driver who's has a couple drivers representing their school, Florida International University's Robert Kiesel, currently in the 6th position right now.
Yeah, and Robert Kiesel Jr. has been a name that we have called out a number of times, and across this season. And I think we're going to continue that trend. Probably a lot of pace behind the wheel of that car from Florida International University. But riding on board, or maybe following on board now as he comes through the S's. Look at that car sliding just a little bit. Lucas Moody trying to keep those tires underneath as best he can. Carry that speed. Ooh, lots of counter steer onto the backstretch, and just a short little run past those braking points and down into the corner to what's got to be one of the most fun complexes in motorsports and in sim racing, Matt, coming into the final sector at Circuit of the Americas, and you're on the gas all the way in, and then there's a couple kinks right here, and then a very, very sharp left, and we're going to see which drivers have those triple monitors, and around goes Moody, Ball State University. That driver is going to reset that car and get that back. Here you go, 8th position, Ricky Paz. He's going to try and jump up. Actually, Athena Leclerc has just bested his time by a little bit. So coming around for Valparaiso University, we're going to see if this crew can come across the line and improve that position. Great shot here, and I don't think that purple car in front will impede the traffic. Maybe a little bit of tow, if you'd like to pretend that way. Bit of a shallower entry right there, getting all the curb, and very careful on the exit, and I don't actually know if he's going to get that, and that's unfortunate. He's about 3 seconds away, Matt, but the qualifying order is the qualifying order.
Yeah, another great qualifying effort from Muhammad Alif tonight out of Ball State University. Puts it on pole position for the first race tonight with a 131.831. And his Ball State teammate of Cale Davidson will start right to his outside in second, only 4/10 behind. Thomas Toomey, the first alumni in the field out of the University of Virginia, in third. And Jake Cummings from Wingate in fourth. Lucas Moody is the third Ball State car in the field. He'll be fifth. And Robert Kiesel Jr. from Florida International in the 6th position. Athena Leclerc will start 7th in the first race tonight, and in 8th is Ricky Paz out of Valparaiso University. And then a couple of alumni rounding out the top 12 with Alexander Diamond from Drexel in 9th, Andrew Burrell from Clemson in 10th, Ryan Dunham from Embry-Riddle in 11th, and Mark Turek, we saw him debut last week in the CIL. He'll start 12th for the Penn College of Technology. Rounding out the field tonight, it's going to be 13th is Howard Community College's Aiken Lamar with Austin DeLong from Penn College of Technology in 14th. Jason Wallet from Drexel in 15th, and Michael Tognati from San Mateo in 16th. In 17th is Nicholas Patnell out of Robert Morris University, and Tristan Leclerc, the second St. Clair car, in 18th. Nick Stockton will be 19th for Clemson. 20th will be Alex Halinar, and I think our drivers are just about ready to go here, Josh.
Yeah, they are. The lights are cooking on this grid. Here we go. The Ball State cars get away well. Immediately second position, covering off down into that long, sharp turn one. Up the hill they race. All 160 horsepower screaming from these race cars, trying to get those sorted out. Down in the corner, it's pretty fair for the first three, but very chaotic behind. Big trouble there in turn one. Binghamton is involved. And Penn College of Technology makes it through. I think that was Ryan Bannon at one point. But up at the front, Ball State University and Lucas Moody chasing Jake Cummings, who is chasing Thomas Toomey. These drivers being very careful on their tiptoes. Oh, and we've got a yellow. It's a yellow, Matt, and I'm surprised right there. Because there was the standard excitement there in the first turn, but I didn't actually know that it needed it, but here we are.
Yeah, we'll have to get a replay of that start there to see what exactly caused that caution. I do see on my timing tower lots of red for cars who were involved in some incidents off the start, but we're going to get a good replay here of the start, Josh.
Yeah, it's a great spot indeed here as we follow along, waiting for those lights to go out. But Ball State did a very good job of claiming those first top spots. The excitement, I think, was on a little bit further back. You can see 2 and 3 wide. Not a great start from Clemson's Andrew Burrell down into the corner. Still a lot of room for everybody. Bit of a lunge by Stockner. All fair play. Oh, and trouble right there. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I say that. that orange car right there is Clemson, who got into, I think, that white machine right there of St. Clair. But it looked like everybody had the pace to get slowed down, and I'm keeping an eye on that Drexel machine that is just, it runs closer to the wall. Right here, maybe we can learn something right here. Keep 2 cars up. That blue car right here, so this is on board with Clemson's Nick Stockner. Down into the corner, everybody's having a great time. I think Drexel just turned a little bit, and yeah, the 2 cars not totally agreeing on the space there at the apex of the turn, Matt. And that was all she wrote.
Yeah, not quite sure if that was really enough to bring out the full course caution, but it did in the end, and all these drivers in the same situation here as we have started the second lap here. 15 laps in this race, so it's not time limited unless for some reason we get up to a 30-minute mark. In that case, it will be time limited, but lights on the pace car still on, so not going to be able to get going racing after this lap. Hopefully after the next one it'll be good to go, but right now it looks like in the top 10, not a whole lot of movement off the start. Only mover is Ryan Dunham. He started 11th, he's up to 10th, and then Andrew Burl, who was 10th, is down to 11th. So not a lot of action in the top 10, not a lot of action in the top 15, to be honest there, Josh.
No, it was pretty well thought out. There was some excitement right there. We can see Valparaiso still in that 8th place. They had to defend that pretty heavily right there. And you know what? There's the 61 car right there turning into the corner. So would have to. I think it was Robert Morris that was on 2 wheels at some point of the show. And that driver, Nick Patinella, who's still scored in 18th position, right behind Nick Stockner. So that pass taking effect before the flag came out. So a couple of those guys and girls trying to get sorted out here, and we'll see. Yeah, stewards are hard at work. You know, typically the incidents on the formula side are done under green flag. There's not a lot of time for the race stewards, Matt, but nice right now to have a little bit of breathing room to get that sorted out.
Yeah, for sure. And it's super interesting. It looking like right now the bottom 4 cars in the field, Zach Lindler, Michael Tognotti, Alex Hallinar, and Ryan Bannon have all pitted, and so I guess they had some damage off the start there. We saw Hallinar, I think he backed into the wall there and was missing a rear wing, but that pit crew was able to find a new rear wing for him and get that attached super quick for him there. So he'll be back in this race at the back of the pack under caution here, but he'll be close to the cars in front due to this full course caution here that hopefully should be ending here, not at the end of this lap, but the end of the next lap.
Yeah, those cars that are currently catching up will have the opportunity to do so now. A couple of drivers coming down, I guess getting maybe new tires for the fun of it, Matt, but we can't pretend that they've got much wear on them. That's Jason Wallet from Drexel University and the Clemson Tiger Nick Stockner that we saw earlier. Looks like the stewards have investigated and have given a penalty to that 24 car, the 124 car of Nick Stockner. But yeah, I guess it's going to be new Pirelli tires for that Clemson Tiger.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the penalty assessed was. Maybe it was a 5-second penalty that could be served in the pits, or is that a post-race penalty from the stewards there, Josh? Are you aware?
I think that was a 10-second penalty, and I don't actually see that it's been assigned, so I think it will be post-race, as the majority of our Formula College penalties are nowadays. But I think that, whatever the circumstances were, Nick and Jason brought their cars down for full service. I suppose there is no fast repair here, Matt, but if you know you're going to the back and you've got a slow lap around here at this speed, bring that car down, take whatever optionals you have, maybe a new A-arm or a new front wing on that Clemson car, probably a new rear wing on that Drexel machine there for Jason Wallet. But we're going to go next time by probably a minute or so. 60 seconds away, we're going green. And you can talk about the tire wear. Yeah, there's Ball State. They're trying to get those tires kind of up to temperature and getting ready to go once we have the green flag here.
Yeah, some of our drivers were saying before the race that I see something going on with Athena Leclerc here. Not quite sure what's happening with her. maybe a spin trying to warm up the tires, not sure. But the driver was saying before the race that the tires were not up to temperature in the first lap, and going through the S's, it can be very sketchy on those cold tires. So these drivers trying to get as much temperature as they can into those Pirelli rubbers, but we'll see what they do on this first lap, because it'll be the first time through the S's at full speed this lap now. So they still got a couple corners to go here, Josh, to get those tires up to temp.
Yeah, it will. And the other thing that I guess has happened a couple times, Matt, is anytime you're in the car and you're mentally prepared and then you have an immediate break like this, you don't want to be lax in getting your mental set back to the race at hand and running through, what your plan was for the first 3 laps while that car comes into its own. So this we can pretend it's a rolling start here. We ride on board with Cale Davidson. And, this is going to be tricky. We're going to see who is focused right now, Matt.
Yeah, Alif gets going on the gas here out of the last corner, and that's going to be a good start for Alif, but the green flag is out. We are racing again here at the Circuit of the Americas, up to turn 1 for the second time now at full speed as Barney's waving that flag. Our Muhammad Alif with a good start right now. Thomas Toomey's currently in the 3rd position as our drivers are pretty spread out at the moment. Further back in the pack, looks like Austin DeLong's trying to make a move here maybe.
Yeah, Austin DeLong with a really shallow. Obviously, you want to make your presence known there. It's safer that way, but I think he gave up some speed on that apex, Matt. So the pass not done. He'll have to wait for another opportunity. And Penn College of Technology falls back in line behind Howard Community College, and that driver, Aiken Lamar, first season in CIL this season here on the Formula College side of things. And there is that 22 looking on. He's trying to make the move through that little left-right right there. And all those drivers getting back on. But there you have it. That is Robert Morris, I think. And I see the 49 outside right there. So that is St. Clair College who is trying to defend. And it's still on, but so is this. Howard Community College coming back. Austin DeLong is going to make that pass around the outside. Now he's got the position. Now he's got the inside. And that was a muscular move right there, Matt. That was not something I would recommend, but he's got it done, and the Wildcat is off to the races, pun intended, and it is fully on behind these two now. St. Clair College runs wide. That will be one of those off tracks that we don't want to pick up. Tristan Leclerc is on the inside here. He is defending from Robert Morris University, who is trying to get sorted right there. And here you go, Lucas Moody. This is Robert Kiesel Jr., who's looking up the inside. This is for 5th position, and these drivers will want this point. Trouble back at the exit of the previous turn, and there you have it. Into the corner, Kiesel Jr. and Panther Esports make the pass right there. They've got position on the inside, and there you go. That 42 is going to play defense quite nicely. It's pretty easy there in that section. Too wide in the S's, Matt, is not really an opportunity. Yeah, a little dummy right there from the Cardinal, but nothing doing, and that position is sorted. Florida International University moving their way up to 5th position.
Yeah, a good move there from Kiesel Jr. trying to get up the field as fast as he can. We'll see if he can run away from the Ball State car of Lucas Moody right now. As he's also coming under pressure from Athena Leclerc right now, trying to move her way up from the 7th to the 6th position in that 61 car. Plenty of action further back in the pack. I think a couple of cars maybe have some sort of incidents. We're going to have to go back and maybe get a replay once all this racing settles out. But we'll keep you with the live action for now. Right now we're watching Athena Leclerc still trying to chase down that Ball State car of Lucas Moody in front of her.
Yeah, Lucas Moody is on a run right now, and that's tricky because that 61 car has been practicing and been growing a long time here, especially this season. That St. Clair College machine routinely runs top 10, and Matt, just last week at Oran Park, she was battling for the lead for the majority of the second heat right there. So lots of talent behind the wheel, that 61, and here you go, Mark Turek trying to get that 225 machine around Andrew Burrell in the 888. That's that purple Clemson Tiger who's racing his way down. And right there you can see Ryan Dunham from Embry-Riddle. He's trying to hold on to that 10th position. So these drivers a bit sorted out right now, but the draft can come into effect right there. Ooh, a bit of a lockup there from Turek. And yeah, that 225 car from Penn College of Technology, he's going to continue the pursuit, Matt. But yeah, I was going to say that earlier we were following Kiesel Jr. trying to make that pass. That was Tristan Leclerc that we had just been following had a little bit of an issue, and a couple cars came together on the exit of the final turn right there. So, yeah, not sure if we have that replay on tap, but I will tell you what, back behind Nick Stockner on that field, never mind that it's for 17th position. That is an absolute gaggle of cars. And there's Andrew Burrell, the Clemson machine. He's going to have to get that car back up to speed after a small hiatus in the wall right there. And there you go, FIU. That is Gavin Marzan, I think, in the white machine for Florida International University. And so these drivers doing a shuffle of their own, Matt, but a lot of action going on right here.
Yeah, there's action throughout the field right now. You see Jason Wallet in the 76 car for Drexel on the inside of Hallinar and the 7 car of Gavin Marzan ahead of him. So can't tell who's defending, who's attacking there in that gaggle. They're all under a blanket at the moment, and they're all doing attacking and defending. So double duty right now. And if I was in the race car right now, I definitely want to be on the attack. I know that a single mistake, a single slip up could cost me a couple seconds in a lot of positions here in this gaggle for the lower positions right now. As we see Andrew Burrell come into the pits for Clemson University, had a spin coming onto the backstretch, has probably damaged his car. Might need to repair it.
Yeah, and speaking of repairs, we might have some more right here because here's 3 cars in a draft that are going to try and go into this first turn. Who can be braver on the brakes? This is going to look great on Sports Center if it comes to fruition. But yeah, the Binghamton University car of Alex Hallinar playing it smart right here. These drivers now 2 wide. Now he's got choice of assignment. That green machine right there is going to try and follow through that hole. Not able to, though, and Jason Wallet shuts the door, and the new order is going to be St. Clair, FIU in that white car, and then Drexel, and then Binghamton. But, yeah, these are cars that are very close together. And by the way, Matt, Michael Tognati totally has the ability from the College of San Mateo to get out of that 20th position. And here we go, back down to the corner. Wallet, a lot of defense, shades of Dover right there. If you know, you know. And there's Dick Stockner. So that is Clemson around. He'll get back up to speed, but not before relinquishing a couple of those positions. We've seen this move around the outside. Last time it was Penn College of Technology. This time it's Drexel, and this time it's not as fruitful. So Drexel back to the inside. College of San Mateo looking for the over-under right there, but able to carry a lot more pace off the corner, and he's going to put the move on here in the final sector, Matt.
Yeah, lots of good action in the back of the pack right now. We see a couple other fights in the field right now as Ricky Paz is trying to move up into the 11th spot, as well as Thomas Toomey making work on Jake Cummings, and that's for the last podium position right now as they come down the S's now. This is Jake Cummings from Wingate University in front of the University of Virginia's Thomas Toomey at the moment. This battle's been brewing for a couple laps right now. I think Toomey had a bit of an incident earlier. He started third and has dropped down a spot, and he's trying to get back into the podium spots here.
Yeah, he is trying to work his way up and go through here. He's trying to get as best he can to get the pace to kind of close up and make an attempt either into some of the final turns, or he can try and get a draft down into turn 1. But passing that Wingate car, Matt, is going to be a tall task.
Yeah, passing is not easy around here. A lot of the track is very tight, either kind of back and forth sections which really turn it on themselves, or just fast corners. As I think Hallinar's had a bit of a spin. He's fallen off the back of the pack in front. That's going to cost him a couple spots here. But fights up and down the field right now.
Yeah, they are. In fact, there's one going into the turn just ahead. That is Nick Stockner putting the move on the 76 car, Drexel University. That Clemson car did not waste any time right there. I was going to say that, yeah, Binghamton was slow right there. That was Alex Hallinar, Matt, because this group of 3 or 4 cars that is now spread out came together and actually is under investigation per the stewards. And so we'll see what that comes to fruition. But here you go. Thomas Toomey to the inside in turn 1. He'll sell the dummy. A bit defensive from the 007. And can it be a run? A bit bouncy over the curbs there. But the 166 has an opportunity. He's closing the gap, Matt, but I don't know where he goes. The S's are coming up, and this is not where I'd put my wing in. But Toomey thinks of it, thinks better of it. And we follow each other through the S's. It's all on right here for the 3rd position, and we know that both of these drivers could earn their way onto the podium here in the first heat.
Yeah, you can really see how close Toomey was to the rear wing of Jake Cummings in front of him, and just loses a couple of tenths here and there through the kind of the fast S's section, and then he's got to make up all that ground once again. So really, Toomey's got to put together a really fantastic back sector here. These back and forth kind of off-camber corners are probably some of the trickiest in the track, but also the most fun to drive on the track. So Toomey's really got to nail this sector to set himself up for a good pass. Probably on the front stretch. It'd be opportunistic to do it into the S's, but he wasn't afraid to try last time.
No, he wasn't, and he knows the mental game, right? So he doesn't have to do 100% direct attack there late on the break and send it into the runoff zone to get the pass done. But here we have Adrian Tabakovic from St. Clair College, who has had a small issue there. I did see these cars jumping over each other on my monitor, and now we have it on the main feed. Those two drivers coming together there on the exit of that awkward little short chute that connects the front and backstretch here on this west course. And here you got two Wildcats going for it. This is Austin DeLong in the bright blue car trying to make his way past his teammate there in the 225 machine. Both of those Penn College of Technology drivers decide that it's best to advance their positions and make good time, get on down the road, and get on with their lap. Lap 10 right now, Matt. So slowly working through this race. We've got a lot of cars kind of shooting for different points up and down the board. We've seen Penn College of Technology. We've seen a battle for the podium. We even saw a battle to get up out of that into that top 15 there and score some school points. You may see on your screen duplicates of Penn College of Technology and Ball State, Clemson, and others. And the points are scored by the top driver in each school. And so even if they are not in the top 10 for the driver points, very, very important that you get those points for your school. And so those groups like Howard Community College, Robert Morris right there, you see advancing their position. They are getting those championship points. Love to see it. And here you go. Robert Morris, we just talked about, is trying to put the move on a little bit wide right there. And certainly, Matt, a function of the higher track temperature that we're seeing today.
Yeah, but speaking of hot track temperatures, we've got a fight on track that's heating up as well right now. It looks like Thomas Toomey has gotten to the inside of Jake Cummings going up into turn one. Very close heading to the apex of the corner. They're going to stay side by side on corner exit there. Just enough room given by the 166 Cavalier machine. But Jake Cummings having that inside line for the flat out turn two is going to give him the position. A great defensive move there from the Wingate University driver that will keep him in the third spot for now as they head through the S's and on to this middle sector here, which is probably the toughest part of the track to stay close to a car or stay close to the car in front. So Toomey's got his work cut out for him still to try to make this pass for the podium positions as we only have a couple laps to go here.
Yeah, he does, and this is the hard part where if you don't get on that front stretch, you really have to do a following act without all the air down on your car, so you're sliding your tires, you're getting them hotter, and you really do have to do that there in the first corner. Ooh, big, bold move there from the 166. I think he spooked the Wingate driver just a little bit, but 007 is wise to it. And there you see Toomey just trying to get any air he can on that car. The dirty air really is rubbish for these drivers who are following, especially that closely. But he's got to, because he's got a couple more chances here on the front stretch to try and make that pass down there on the inside. We did confirm that the stewards did not take any action on that little kerfuffle between Binghamton, Drexel, and others there in turn one, but we are going to head back to the scene of the excitement. Here's the opportunity, and I think he's actually a little bit further back than he was. Yeah, there's the dummy, and I wondered if he would do it, Matt. He's got the opportunity to keep the speed around the outside. He chooses to cross over, but there's really nothing doing, and very rarely at this racetrack, at that corner, Matt, do we see that move work, because, yeah, you go right back to the right side, and there's really nothing for it. It's very easy to defend. So the best move is, yeah, can you hang your car around the outside or maybe commit a small crime simply on the entry to turn one?
Oh, but a little mistake there from Jake Cummings, I think, exiting the S's, and that cost him a little bit of time. And a big wiggle coming out of that little short chute to connect the back in front of the track. And Thomas Toomey's going to send one to the inside here, trying to get that third spot. Hammers over the curbs, but Jake Cummings still able to hang on around the outside there of the Cavalier machine. And I think Toomey's getting a little frustrated at this point. You can really tell he's starting to send it in and really try to make those dive bomb moves, trying to get back to the third spot.
Yeah, and here you go. He's going to look. Oh, right there. He was trying to put a move on and get some rotation on the car. We talked about the trickiness of getting into the entry on these corners right there. You saw it in that wiggle from the 166 Athena Leclerc is trying to put a move on Lucas Moody, but this action is zooming right now as Thomas Toomey and Virginia try and go to work on Wingate University. They have been, and coming down to the green flags. This is going to be 2 laps to go when they come by here. These drivers are going to have another opportunity. I think he's close enough to try something, but I don't know if he's got the move sold right here. I think he's got to get a little bit better exit right there on the corner. Yeah, defensive line, and you would do it there if you're Wingate. There you go, side by side into the corner. And I'll tell you what, it's getting it's all fair play from these drivers, Matt, but it is getting progressively more exciting as they go. Toomey takes the off track. He's going to try and work right there. Now we're going to do 2 wide in the S's, and Toomey lifts. I don't know if he lifts or if he was coerced by that beige and blue Wingate machine right there, but Jake Cummings is playing some Division 1 defense right now, Matt.
Yeah, that was a super opportunistic move there from Toomey. We mentioned at the start of the broadcast where this is one of the first tracks of the season where you're going to have runoff on that's asphalt off the sides of the track that's not technically a part of the track. And we saw Toomey use that to his advantage there in turn 2. That faster line on the inside. Maybe he got a little bit loose or something on the corner there. Toomey, a big lockup and loses the rear end there, but a great recovery from the Cavalier driver. Didn't really lose any time to the Wingate car in front either, so maybe drifting is the way around that corner to get a little bit of time, as Toomey will only have 2 laps to go here as they cross the stripe to get this move done.
Yeah, and he's got to try something different. He's coming to the white flag right now, and we saw that he took the risk going down to the inside. He was side by side, but never really completed the move to get the pass done. There you go, and actually I think Wingate got a better exit right there, but it's going to be all draft. And I don't know what Toomey will do right here, but he is clever. And here we go. Looking to the inside. It's selling a dummy. Yeah, Wingate is smarter than that. No need for that. Oh, a late lunge right there, and that would be a fault for the University of Virginia if that were to be an issue, but it wasn't. And there you go. So coming in to the final sector, about 2/3 of a lap left for these drivers to sort it out.
Yeah, down the S's, Toomey's really getting desperate now. Only a couple corners left to really make this move for the last podium spot here in the first race. 3/10 behind right now. We've seen Jake Cummings put on a very aggressive defense this entire race so far, but he's only got a couple miles left to go to hold on to that last podium spot, as Aiken Lamar, it seems, has passed Ricky Paz, and Ricky Paz has made a move right back to hold on to that 11th position. But Thomas Toomey still about a couple tenths back, and the driver who's kind of been pulled into this fight now is Robert Kiesel Jr., who's in the 5th spot at the moment. We see him in the back here, the back of the shot right now, and he's slowly crawled his way towards this battle, maybe thinking he could pick up the pieces if these two come together here.
Well, they are falling back. You can see that 10-second gap up to Ball State, who's dominated this race. Shame we could not discuss them more, but yeah, right here we're trying to see what the excitement is. And I stand corrected, the white flag this time by, as I try to do the math there on the tower. I was so distracted trying to watch Thomas Toomey right there with the off track. Takes the off track, Matt. It's not a mistake. It's tactical, and he wanted it right there, but I don't think it mattered. I don't think he had the line, but I don't think he had the speed to make use of it. So here you go, down into the corner. It's another effort, but yeah, the result is the same right there. I don't think he's got that move. A loop behind Robert Kiesel Jr., I think, gets turned around right there, and that will be an opportunity for, I believe that is Athena Leclerc in the 61 to move through. But there you go, those two back at it. But these two, nose to tail, wing to wing, and back through the awkward part, right up on the back bumper. Don't break too early, Jake. There you go, down to the corner. Both drivers, fair play right there. Yeah, defense, who's going to go to what line, getting that car turned back around, and yeah, it's a classic move, but it's hard to pull off, Matt. And so here we go, a lap to go for these drivers. Wingate University and Jake Cummings lead the way.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic fight between these two with only a couple corners to go right now as Ar Muhammad Leaf still the leader. A little bit of a lockup there from Thomas Toomey, and there might have been contact between the two drivers right now. Now Toomey is side by side with Jake Cummings going through the fast right-hander here. Side by side, it's going to be tough. There's contact between the two drivers, but they keep it on the asphalt. A fantastic fight this entire race between these two as Ar Muhammad Leaf is about to cross the line and take the race one victory with his teammate right behind him. But can Thomas Toomey make a move in the last corner here? Only a couple hundred feet to go as Jake Cummings is deep on the inside, but both of them go down the pit lane for some reason.
They both have the drive-through. They've both exceeded the track limits, and I hadn't been tracking it, Matt, but they've both exceeded track limits. They've got a drive-through penalty. They'll finish this race in that manner, and we will have to chase the timing tower. In fact, it looks like with the gap that they had, they did come across the line, Wingate University and the University of Virginia, but that is fantastic and hilarious. That those drivers incurred the same penalty at the same time. Surely, from trying to work against one another for so long in that race. The battle's not done, but they're kind of coming down to it. Only a couple yellow numbers remain on that timing tower. But yeah, that makes sense, and I wasn't tracking it right there, Matt, but we were all surprised to see that was the standard drive-through penalty for those two. And so if we were to ask, we would see that they both have about 13 incident points or so. In fact, a number of drivers with incident points, a couple very close to that 18 mark. So, wow, what a move from those drivers. And yeah, Thomas Toomey coming around that corner. They were side by side, and Thomas had a lot of liberty there, kind of leaning into the Wingate machine, who fended it off pretty well. When the tires are alongside the tires on these open wheel cars, you can get away with a little bit more, and it was just enough.
Yeah, Josh, looking at those first race results, obviously R. Muhammad Alif, your race winner with Cale Davidson right behind him for a Ball State 1-2. But Josh, because I think they both incurred penalties on the final lap and they could not complete their drive-through, Thomas Toomey and Jake Cummings were dropped to the back of the pack and have finished outside the top 10. And Athena Leclerc, by virtue of passing Robert Kiesel Jr. on the last lap, will finish in the third spot for that first race, Josh.
Yeah, what a play right there. And I do see Thomas Toomey scored, maybe 13th or so on that list. So, yeah, the couple of those drivers. In fact, 11th for Jake Cummings as well. So, Pennsylvania College of Technology's Mark Turek sneaking in between those drivers. But, yeah, so I don't know if they had to stop and go or to do whatever, but that was what they had. So, very exciting. And, yeah, I don't know if it can get more intense here as we go into the second heat. But it typically does, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. I think those two cars were side-by-side bumping wheels on that last lap, and I wonder if they got contact between each other that kind of pushed them over that edge for a drive-through penalty, maybe a 2X or a 4X between the two of them. But that's just what you got to be careful about. We mentioned the off-track at the top of the broadcast, but you have to pay the piper, as they say, and you got to make sure that you don't go off the track too many times or you're going to get the penalty here, Josh. So big penalty for Jake Cummings and Thomas Toomey. And now they're going to start outside the top 10 for race 2 because they're not in the top 10 for that invert.
Yeah, that is tough all over. The driver chat getting a little bit spicy between the drivers of the Wingate and Virginia cars, and I think we would expect it, but the stewards there, in fact, it looks like driver chat has been momentarily paused, but I do observe, Matt, that they both achieved in that final sector where they were kind of leaning on each other. Looks like they both achieved a 4X, which would put them over that 13-point incident limit. So, and of course it was nobody's fault. So, nothing but some good and proper racing here in the Formula College race. And finally, Matt, I was big picture, I was really excited to get to some of these tracks that we have and that we've seen coming up. Formula, FIA Grade 1 tracks that are a little bit more racy. Every track has stories and history, but very exciting here. And I think these cars are racing very well here.
Yeah, for sure. It can be a little difficult to pass just because there's not too many heavy braking zones. You kind of have turn 1 as well as maybe what would be turn 12 in the full Grand Prix circuit. I think it's technically turn 11 on this shortened club circuit here. Would be heavy braking zones. And you only get 2 chances a lap, essentially, unless there's a mistake in front. So really tight racing throughout the entire field. I'm sure Athena Leclerc is ecstatic to see that a penalty for the 2 drivers in front of her have resulted in giving her a second podium in 2 weeks, which has been a great effort. Robert Kiesel Jr., unfortunately, a spin in the first corner on the last lap cost him a podium there. Lucas Moody, a great showing for Ball State in the 5th position as well here. We have a couple minutes to go in our warm-up session between races.
Yeah, and I think it's a good showing. Yeah, again, a lot of points for both those crews. Athena Leclerc getting that points haul for St. Clair College and collecting a number of podiums this season. And then Robert Kiesel Jr. there, Florida International University Panther Esports, is glad to have that driver in their stable. Haven't said Luis Diaz as much tonight, but no matter. Kiesel Jr. Is behind the wheel there for the Panthers, and he is making them known right now. But yeah, these drivers getting warmed up and getting ready to go. And Matt, I mean, if your helmet is on, you're on the grid, the tire warmers have come off, and what is going through your head as you prepare for this start of the second heat?
Well, I guess it depends on how you finish the first heat, right? If you're Muhammad Leaf or Cale Davidson, where you two were cruising out front the whole race, then you kind of have to get yourself back in the mindset that you're going to be side by side with a bunch of cars heading into the first turn, especially after now they're going to have to start 9th and 10th due to this top 10 invert. But if I'm Jake Cummings and Thomas Toomey, and I'm seeing red after the end of that first race, trying to blame the other driver for causing incident points and going over the limit to get that drive through, I need to take this time now to calm down, get back in my mindset. I know that I'm quick. I just have to make sure to limit the mistakes and get through the field without being caught up in one of these crazy turn one wrecks that we saw in the first race tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And I expect that this turn one, right? You go up, you brake, you're going uphill. So a lot of these drivers are unsure of their braking points, and you really got to get it sorted out. And we see a lot of calamity, maybe disproportionately so here in this turn one.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of turn one, we have our starting grid here for the second race tonight. It's going to be Aiken Lamar from Howard Community College starting on the pole position as the result of finishing 10th in the first race. Ricky Paz from Valparaiso in second. DeLong from Penn College of Technology in third. Ryan Dunham from Embry-Riddle in fourth. Alex Diamond in fifth for Drexel. Lucas Moody in sixth for Ball State. Robert Kiesel Jr. in seventh for Florida International. Athena Leclerc in eighth for St. Clair. Ninth will be Cale Davidson. And 10th will be R. Muhammad Leaf for the second race of tonight, Josh.
Yeah, the rest of these drivers getting sorted out. The lights not yet up on that tower, and all these drivers are again trying to go through. Riding on board here with Ricky Paz, who has put together some pretty solid runs. Again, with the disqualification or the penalization, maybe of these guys. So now here we go. Up to the lights. They are on and they are off. And a slow start from Howard Community College on the inside. Penn College takes evasive action, and there you see Ryan Dunham there from Embry-Riddle in that black machine. He's going to try and escape the middle of three wide right there. Getting turned in on, but everybody comes out. Yeah, it's slow down there on that slow, sharp turn. But back up to this corner. Here you go. Ryan Dunham trying to do his best to run away from Lucas Moody from Ball State University, and that is going to be the leading Ball State car at this point in time. Athena Leclerc right behind, eager to sneak through any gap that might appear right there. But back up at the front with a half-second lead, quick half-second lead, is Ricky Paz and Valparaiso University. But hot on the trail, there's Alex Diamond. He's trying to look in late on the brakes, and I wonder if Austin DeLong is not so confident on those new tires. But there you go. So Austin DeLong, a little bit of a lockup, but no stress right there in that situation. And Alex Diamond is going to stay on the inside. And what's the play right here? Yeah, you look for the over-under. Austin DeLong looks for it. Defended from Diamond right there in the Drexel University car. And there you go. And who loves this? The 2-second lead, Valparaiso University. But there you have R. Muhammad Alif, who is right behind the gearbox of Embry-Riddle. And there you have it. Almost a dummy right there. And I think that's the other Ball State car. Yeah, Lucas Moody and then Cale Davidson. So here comes the Armada, Matt.
Yeah, if you're Ball State right now, you're going to love to see your drivers 1, 2, 3. But it looks like Alexander Diamond got a little bit wide in that last corner, and that's going to give the opportunity to Austin DeLong to retake that second position from the Drexel University driver as they head up to turn 1 right now. DeLong is going to have the inside line for Penn College of Technology, and that move is pretty much over as soon as it started. It looks like Ryan Dunham is also going to send one up the inside of the Drexel car, as well as R. Muhammad Leaf, as it looks like Diamond here. A little wide in the last corner of the track, and he's lost a couple spots heading up to the first one.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. R. Muhammad Alif making the play forward pretty effectively right here and surviving all the issues there on lap 1. But lap 1, a little bit smoother than we had seen in the previous heat. And there you have it. So these drivers all nose to tail. There's Ball State in there. There's Drexel University in there. St. Clair College is in your screen as well, followed by Florida International. Howard Community College is trying to turn in right there, and St. Clair is going to defend that position. I think that's Cale Davidson, but they do have nearly identical schemes on those cars right there. That number is 13. That's Lucas Moody, I think, right there. But back up at the front, or almost the front, Austin DeLong plays defense from that freshly painted Ball State Cardinal there. In third place, Muhammad Leaf.
Yeah, great shot here from the rear wing of Muhammad Leaf as he's steaming out of Grand Prix turn 18 right now. That fast right-hander around the observation tower as he's looking to make up some spots here and get his way towards the front of the pack, as his Ball State teammate of Cale Davidson is looking to follow him as well. As it looks like another wide moment there for Alexander Diamond in the last corner that's going to cost him a good chunk of time. But Austin DeLong now under pressure. He's going way to the inside here to defend from the Ball State car, but Ball State's going to go even lower to the inside here, up into Big Red turn 1. But he goes really deep in the corner. That's going to cost him some time, and DeLong will be able to fight back around the inside there. A little bit of an over-under move from him there, as it looks like he's going to hold on to that second position as they head down to the S's.
That was some strong defense. I kept waiting for either driver to move back to the right, Matt, but none did. And there you have it. I'll tell you, that gap now to the lead up to 3 seconds at the moment. And there you go. Oh, too wide through the sneaky kink right there. I believe that was a Ball State car. Maybe Cale Davidson trying to sneak his way by. Oh, yeah, that's why, because there's about 4 of them under a blanket back there. And there you have it. Athena Leclerc trying to play defense. That's Robert Kiesel Jr. on the inside, and Jake Cummings on the inside of him as the track moves back the other way. There's an opportunity. Cale Davidson, ooh, and almost 3 wide right there. It wasn't quite 3 wide, but it was 2 wide for both of those cars, those groups of cars right there. Kiesel Jr. playing hard defense and sideways. That is a Ball State car around, and that is Lucas Moody's on the grid. It's not a Leaf, so it might be Cale Davidson right there. It is in that number 2 Ball State car. That's going to shuffle our order up a little bit, Matt.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a spin there from either Cale Davidson or Jake Cummings, one of the two, just in the bad position on the exit of the corner, and gassed it up a little too early. Rear end came around on them, so a little unfortunate for Cale Davidson there. He has good pace. He might have some damage he's got to repair as he pulls it into the pits now. It's going to be super unfortunate from him after having a great first race of the night, caught up in an incident here in race 2.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for that driver. And here you go, 2 drivers that are competing tough. Athena Leclerc for St. Clair College and Drexel University's Alex Diamond trying to get that out. In fact, I see Wingate University in the pit lane right now along with Cale Davidson. So that is not how that driver wanted to get redemption here in Heat 2. His adversary, Cavalier Thomas Toomey, running in 8th position right now. But here you go, Alex Diamond is trying to beat feet, get out of Dodge here, because he has got a hard-charging Athena Leclerc behind. And behind them, actually, it continues. Thomas Toomey going to work on the Panther driver, Robert Kiesel Jr. But here you have Ryan Dunham, and we haven't said Ryan's name as much this season, but the engineer from Embry-Riddle, now working actually at Pratt & Miller. There, if you are a Corvette racing fan, he is playing some defense down on the inside. And there it was. Yeah, Alex Diamond was trying to back that corner up. He was trying to sneak around the inside for Drexel, but there was a car behind him, and I don't know if the St. Clair College driver Leclerc got that memo. No fault there from any driver, but a little bit unfortunate there. That's how these things go when you're trying to race the car out your windshield, as you should be, Matt.
Yeah, just a lot of action here in the middle of the pack, but at the front of the pack right now, Ricky Paz, we haven't said his name much because he's steamed away to a 2-second lead very quickly in this race, but now Muhammad Leaf is caught right back to that rear wing of the Valparaiso machine, heading up into turn 1. That's Muhammad Leaf on the outside. He's going to try to pull a little cheeky under over here, and he gets the move done on the exit of the corner. A great job from Leaf there to get that lead back after only 5 laps here in the second race tonight. But Ricky Paz, I think he sees the big picture right now, and he knows he's 4.5 seconds clear of the third-place driver. He's looking to secure a podium for Valparaiso tonight.
Yeah, Valparaiso, obviously, they're there's luck that you have to have in sim racing. And when Diamond is around in the top of your screen, right there in the S's, that's Drexel University. The stewards already investigating, as they have with just about every contact tonight. But that is not what that car ordered. Here, back in third position, the final podium spot. Who's it going to go to? And this is going to be a gaggle right here, Matt, because there's a number of fast drivers in that 5, 6, 7 part of the lineup, and they're going to put on a strong competition here for that final podium spot. But Austin DeLong right now, Penn College of Technology, that driver is going to try and drive away. Athena Leclerc on the outside of the Pratt & Miller engineer. Dunham and Embry-Riddle are going to hang tough there on the inside. Again, lots of dirty air going on for all these drivers right here. They come together, a little bit of contact for those drivers, but down there, Athena Leclerc is going to take that position. Battle of the black cars. Thomas Toomey tries to defend from Kiesel Jr., locks up a little bit on the inside, and is going to leave the space. But here we go, down into turn one. Kiesel Jr., that Panther, he got a really good run off that corner right there. Thomas Toomey knows it. There's nothing for it. He's got to go down to the inside. FIU is going to look here on the outside, and all he's got to do is be later on the brakes, and he's just got to hold around the outside. He's done it right there, trying to keep that car rotated, and just couldn't keep the speed in it. All you got to do is keep your wing in to the inside of that right-hander right there, and it's anybody's game, Matt.
Yeah, I think Kiesel just a little too late on the brakes there. That corner, you're uphill, so it's very easy to brake super late. And there's also a lot of track on the kind of backside of the track where the apex of the corner isn't. But I think we want to see if we can get a chance here to look back at what happened to Alexander Diamond. We saw him spin earlier in the S's here. Coming down, I think he was battling Athena Leclerc. He was having a good race, and I don't know if maybe he just missed an apex and just clobbered a curb or something. Not quite sure. As we see, he looks to the inside. Yeah, just a little too much curb there on the inside, and that's going to turn him around. Nothing he could do there. You just got to be a bit more careful with how much curb you're taking, especially in the S's.
Especially in the S's, and those those yellow turtles or curbs, if you will, that are stuck on the apex of each of those S's are just weapons. I don't even know what else to say. But a number of weapons going on here because these drivers are all looking to advance their position. Meanwhile, probably the most comfortable here is that blue car up ahead. He's trying to defend from Athena Leclerc, but these drivers, that's Thomas Toomey trying to get around Ryan Dunham. Virginia trying to get around Embry-Riddle. And look at that green machine. Alex Hallenarm, Binghamton University, are going to try and go to work on Lucas Moody from Ball State. So the Cardinals have their hands full, as do the Panthers. Right there, late on the brakes. Oh, and everybody's late on the brakes. Contact from everybody. And, I actually think that the 42 car had it about just right there. And here we go, too wide through the S's. That's what you need. Austin DeLong concedes. Athena Leclerc goes wide. That's going to be an off track. That'll be like a cut time penalty. I don't know how iRacing will handle that, but Austin DeLong can probably expect that position back for Penn College of Technology. So St. Clair will have to concede that position, but there you go. Thomas Toomey late on the brakes inside. The Virginia car is going to try and get that done, but he's not clear. And Embry-Riddle will fight back on the inside. There's a lot of opportunity there, but just kind of bringing away the space right there. And Ryan Dunham having none of it. He is no stranger to this sort of competition right there, and leaving just the spot. I don't know, there's about 0.8 car widths right there. Contact for those two. That was Thomas Toomey, who I don't know if he knew quite where that car was, but there you go. So Panther Esports is waiting for both of these drivers to bin it, so to speak. So is Ball State in your screen behind them. Binghamton University as well, and a lot of these drivers may have a crunched front wing, and there you go. Oh, and it was Ryan Dunham who was, again, Matt, going to try and sneak around to the inside, but wasn't able to because if he broke any more, he would have cars in his gearbox.
Yeah, this gaggle of cars here, I think Ryan Dunham is sort of acting like the cork in the bottle right now. I think there's some fast cars behind him who are trying to make a move here. As we see Lucas Moody look to the inside of Dunham. Kiesel has gone through the inside of Dunham as well as now the 505 from Embry-Riddle is dropping down the field a couple spots as we really saw how DeLong and Athena Leclerc kind of jumped away from this pack once they got past Dunham. And I think Dunham has continued to drop a couple spots here. But going back to that move from Athena Leclerc and Austin DeLong, I haven't seen her give up any time to Austin DeLong, so maybe there wasn't a slowdown penalty. It was very, very bold going side by side through the S's there. for that St. Clair College car. So very, you got to weigh the risk and rewards, and it seems like the rewards paid off for Leclerc.
Yeah, I think so, and I do agree that St. Clair did not have any position to give back there. So iRacing determining that all's fair in motorsport here. Down into the corner, Binghamton is going to try around the outside. Yeah, no need to slow down right there. Everybody running, so he's kept his momentum, and now he's got an opportunity on the inside, and I was waiting for that move to come off tonight. It's so textbook, so predictable, Matt, to try and break early and cross over and do that. And plus, with a track that always has the next turn going the opposite way, why not try a little bit of that? And around, we saw the contact on the bumper cam right there. Binghamton University gets turned around right there, and I don't know if that's fault or a racing incident. These drivers have been leaning on each other for, 10, 15 minutes. There you have it. So the 505 comes through actually for Ryan Dunham. He does have a black flag along with a number of drivers. Ryan Bannon, Lucas Moody from Ball State, Nicholas Stockner, and Andrew Burrell, the Clemson Tigers. So we're going to see a bit of a shuffle in the scoring tower, but Thomas Toomey continues to march on. And where, Matt, are we having a serious moment? These two cars are together again.
Yeah, but I don't think the Wingate car is on the lead lap. I think he's a couple laps down for Jake Cummings and is just riding around to see if he can get any points potentially as Jake Cummings lets Toomey by. I think he's going to let Austin DeLong here by as well when he gets the chance. Looks like he's pretty much stopped on the back straightaway, so I think he's maybe has some damage he can't continue with or is just trying to let everyone by.
Yeah, no, that I think is an accurate assessment. I do see that Wingate University, that +1 right there, but he's got an opportunity, as you said, to march up the field a little bit. Thomas Toomey sliding around right there. Aiken Lamar trying to go to work for Howard Community College on Robert Morris University, but you don't want to misstep because Alex Diamond is right behind him, and Drexel University would love to gain that final championship point. Let's just say that driver would love to gain that final championship point. And I look at the scoring tower, I think Drexel University has already scored, would get a handful of points as it stands. But nonetheless, Aiken Lamar right there, and it looks like another drive. Yeah, it's Lucas Moody. He's serving that penalty. Drive-throughs were something that every driver considered, talked about, game planned for going into tonight, Matt, and it seems to come to fruition.
Yeah, once you put asphalt on the edges of these tracks, Josh, these drivers really want to use them even if you're not allowed to. So sometimes you really kind of sit on the edge of legality and illegality, and I think a couple drivers tonight have kind of stepped over the edge, especially here in the second race right now, as up at the front, Athena Leclerc has gotten to the rear wing of Ricky Paz, and Ricky Paz has a bit of a moment coming out of that middle sector and is going to go off the track on the backstretch, and that will gift Athena Leclerc the second position in the second race tonight. We are 2/3 of the way done with the second race, 10 laps down, 15 to go here, as our Muhammad Alif is probably getting pretty lonely at the front of the pack right now, Josh.
15 seconds up the road for your Ball State University leader. And yeah, Matt, it's tough to be a commentator when you get ready to build the action on screen, and that Valparaiso car just takes a small excursion. That battle's sorted, but the action's not done yet. Valparaiso knows that they're on pace. The pace of those cars is pretty equivalent, and he is getting an opportunity. Oh, there's your off track right there for that 19 machine. And yeah, a lot of these drivers are going to have to be a little bit careful. Ooh, big lockup into that corner. Big slip from both cars. And I think that the track temperature and the mental focus is getting to some of these drivers.
Yeah, Robert Kiesel Jr. now guilty of too many off tracks and too many incident points. He will be serving a drive-through. A lot of our top drivers in the second race tonight getting really aggressive with the track limits here, and some of them are really paying the price. Right now, we have Kiesel Jr., Lucas Moody, and I believe, who else did we see earlier who dropped down there? I think it was Ryan Dunham, who was at the front of the pack. We saw him come through pit lane for a drive-through earlier as well.
Yep, and something else to call out is as we've got that battle for the final podium position, a lot of those drivers will be wanting, for the second position because St. Clair College, but Athena Leclerc has 10 incident points, so if there is contact,
11.
But if there's 11, and if there's contact between these two cars that results in a 4X, St. Clair College would have to come down for a penalty, and Ricky Paz and Valparaiso would not. And look who's entering the fray, no stranger to 4Xs, Thomas Toomey from Virginia right there. There's another +1 for Athena Leclerc. That driver now up to 12 incident points, and 13's the limit here. So, yeah, not much there. So I think she's decided just to let those two cars go and battle up ahead and keep her St. Clair race car on the track. But here you go, Thomas Toomey and Ricky Paz. Another spicy combination here on the Formula College side. And Virginia is going to try to go to work on that well-painted and sideways Valparaiso car, Matt. And I don't know if there's much for it now.
Yeah, we saw last lap Ricky Paz was getting very squarely in that last corner. We've seen a couple cars there get really loose coming out of the last corner, and that's going to gift Thomas Toomey that second spot. As bit of a dive bomb from Ricky Paz there in contact between our second and third place drivers. Ricky Paz right into the back of Thomas Toomey, a big lockup, and Athena Leclerc will scurry away from the scene of the crime with a second position in hand. Not much Thomas Toomey could have done there, to be honest. That was just laid on the brakes by Ricky Paz and a big mistake from him.
Yeah, Paz getting locked up right there, and I actually thought that the 166 car was going straight on at 1.2. So everybody late trying to battles up and down the field right now. Gavin Marzan jumping up over Alex Diamond as he serves that penalty. Ricky Paz does get a black flag for his 13th drive-through penalty. And Athena Leclerc, Matt, just hanging on to 12. Don't put a foot wrong anywhere. But there you have it. This is making the scene quite entertaining because Austin DeLong, 4th position. Ricky Paz and Valparaiso University will drop a little bit after they give and serve that penalty right there. If they do not, iRacing will apply it in post. And then you have Robert Morris University and Nicholas Patinella there in that 6th position, waiting to break into the top 5, followed by FIU and Robert Kiesel Jr. And Michael Tognati is trying to get to the inside of Aiken Lamar right now, and they're all trying to get away from Lucas Moody from Ball State University. There's Thomas Toomey, who's made his second penalty through the pits tonight, and yeah, that's not the front wing you're supposed to have on that Valparaiso car. A little bit late there into turn 1. Stewart's looking. Oh, and Stewart's have applied the penalty to. So if it wasn't bad enough in the drive-through for incident points alone, there's always the penalty for causing a collision here in the Formula College that has been applied to Valparaiso University. So that will not be very helpful. And they are back joining the action in 4th place, Matt, University of Virginia, followed by Robert Morris, who is trying to get away from the entire mess in his mirrors.
Yeah, Toomey and really the front 4 had built up such a gap to the cars behind due to a combination of drivers in the interim grabbing drive-through penalties that put them further back down the field and just pure pace over some of these other drivers who are around the 8th, 9th, and 10th position at the moment, where he went into the pits, I believe, in 3rd position at the time and came out in 4th. So, well, I'm sure he'd love... Oh, big lockup from Lucas Moody there. Michael Tognati slow through that little chicane in that little short chute between the front and the back of the track. Almost a big incident between those two at one of the fastest parts of the track in that chicane. You don't really have to brake for it. You can kind of just go straight over the curbs as Tognati now side by side with Aiken Lamar through this last sector of the track, the back and forth. Lamar will have the inside line for this quick left-hander. I think Patinella and Kiesel Jr. are also side by side in front of them as well. So Kiesel Jr. on the outside there, ahead of the Robert Morris University car of Nick Patinella for the 5th spot. And a big fight here as there are only 2 laps to go once they get back to the line.
2 to go, coming to the green flag. You can see on your screen, lap 14 right here. In fact, when they cross the line, or excuse me, the leader has crossed the line, so these drivers are coming indeed to the green flag. And here you go. So Ball State, Lucas Moody is going to try and put a move on. I think would try and put a move on down into the first turn. Here you go, riding on board with Moody, the Ball State Cardinal. He's going to look to the inside, a little bit defensive, but a little bit lackadaisical from Tognati. The room is still there, and both cars slip on the exit. But yeah, it's wing to wing down into this turn, and there it is. The position is still sorted. So Lucas Moody going to go into this one and had to get on the brakes right there, heavy on the brakes right there. And if you're Jason Wallet behind you, you don't want to be brake tested. That would be awkward right there. But these drivers back around through the little sort right there. and down back onto the Formula One track. The leader taking the white flag. You can see on your timing tower that's up there. But a little bit forward, Michael Tognati continues to try and work on Howard Community College, and Nick Patinella and Robert Morris University continue to play defense. He's got the inside right here. I think he's conceded the position just to protect. I don't know. Maybe Patinella's got some points. Yeah, 11 incident points for Robert Morris right there in Patinella. So you would not want to get a 4X. That would be a penalty. And so the play here is giving up just these one or two positions instead of giving up 20 seconds and having to come down pit road.
Yeah, I'm sure Patinella would have loved to be sitting in that sixth position, but if you look at the big picture in terms of the point standings, you want to get points. You don't want to get... Okay, at this point in the race, 20 seconds in the pit lane would... I mean, you're not even going to be in the top 15, top 14 at that point, really. So white flag is out as they cross the line for one final time here. As they fight their way up to turn one, we see Robert Aiken Lamar of Howard Community College going defensive further up ahead. Oh, deep into the corner, Lucas Moody as well as Michael Tognati getting right to that back bumper of the Howard Community College car right now. Only a couple tenths separate 7th through 10th right now, and Ricky Paz is hoping there's some action up ahead so he can get into the final point paying positions as they go through the S's for one last time, Josh.
Yeah, there you go. These drivers all trying to make the most of their opportunity, and you don't want to throw the punch and expose yourself and get knocked out, because that can happen right here in a train of cars such as this. Looking back from Howard Community College, Aiken Lamar he's got actually some breathing room right there, and College of San Mateo in hot pursuit, but everybody hanging out right now as we go through the final position, locking up right there. I don't know if it's going to make a difference right there. Well, maybe it is, because Aiken Lamar contact right there. San Mateo was really, really tight right there, Matt. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to walk through that replay. But and the rejoin, that's the rejoin with Nick Patinella right there. The car is damaged. That will now be a penalty for Nick Patinella right there. And wow, so a lot unfolds in the final sector of this one. Embry-Riddle comes out on top. Drexel University continuing right now, and this is Alex Diamond, who's got an opportunity to finish this race. Drexel University for the 10th place position. Man, he's just going to try and get to the end. And there you go. Aiken Lamar does indeed take that drive-through. And now does Alex Diamond have the opportunity? No, he does not. Aiken Lamar has crossed the finish line even in pit road. It counts. And wow, these drivers trying to get to the final checkered flag. Matt, it was not easy for them. And calamity there in the final sector.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's fighting for those last points paying positions. I think tonight was a super, attrition heavy race, and I think some people were maybe trying to get some more points than they normally get with a fuller field. And I think maybe they were just fighting a bit too much. That rejoin there at the end from, I believe it was Tognati. I got to feel sorry for Patinella there, because he was on for a good finish, and then out of nowhere he just gets T-boned from behind, and it's you're on one more incident point to go till you get a penalty, but man, what can you do in that case if you're Patinella? Nothing you can do. You try to play it safe, and you just get caught up in something that you can't control.
No, there's nothing for it, and that's the up-down yin-yang of motorsports, right? Sometimes things go well, you can't control them. Sometimes things go poorly, you can't control them. And obviously San Mateo and Michael Tognati have that contact entering the turn as we ride on board with Ball State University. Getting back, rejoin just across the track, and I think probably still in the process of regaining their bearings. That was unfortunate there for the drivers involved, but I don't know if we have a replay of that, Matt. Looks like his cars continue to cross the line here. iRacing continuing to sort out those penalties, and here you go. So we were coming into this complex. Howard is playing defense right here. A little bit of a lockup, but nothing too shabby. Cars wing to wing. We've seen this all night here through this sector. It's a right, it's a triple left, very tight on the end. And right there, very early turn in. And I don't know if Tognati thought he was clear. But anyways, contact is contact, and what's done is done at this point. So there you have it. Ball State, that's Lucas Moody in that 13 car. gets around. Looks like that is the Drexel machine of Jason Wallet going to the inside, and there you have Matt, Robert Morris, and Nicholas Patinella trying to turn that car around. There you have Michael Tognati sees the track. He's trying to get his bearings, starts turning that car to the left, but in rejoining, simply comes across most of the track right there. You can see the onboard. I don't know, maybe something was broken, which I think is probably the most likely explanation of that, an unfortunate one at best. But with Tognati on his steering wheel, I wonder if that car was not driving as straight as it appears to us, Matt. And yeah, very unfortunate to come across there. The stewards looking into that. In fact, we'll see what the dust says later this weekend. But heavy penalties applied right now to that Tognati machine that will
Yeah,
come out on the penalty report later this week.
yeah, for sure. We'll take a look here on board with Tognati real quick. Just turns in way too early, and then I'm sure that you can already tell that left front is towed out. I don't think that wheel is turning correctly. It's tough to tell from that angle because the wheel seems to be mostly straight, and he is pointing mostly straight as the contact occurs as he rejoins the track. So we'll see what the steward says. He's trying to. It looks like he's trying to gas it back up, but it looks like that rear wing or rear tire or something is not attached correctly to the drivetrain, and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I think that car was immobile at that juncture.
Yeah, sure thing, and that's definitely it's going to be a difficult one for our stewards to figure out here. But I think we're going to see if we can get the preliminary results up on the board now for the second race of the night. Obviously preliminary. I'm sure the stewards will have something to say about what happened at the end there. But one thing that we do know for certain is that our Muhammad Ali from Ball State University will come home to take 2 victories tonight in the Formula C Texan Grand Prix, with Athena Leclerc having a fantastic night, finishing with 2 podiums for St. Clair College. She'll be ecstatic with that result. She drove 2 great races, a well-earned second place here for the second race. And then Austin DeLong from Penn College Technology will come home in the last podium position. Behind them, it's a bit of a crapshoot, as we saw at the very end of the race there. Thomas Toomey came home in 4th after serving a drive-through penalty for too many incident points, and Robert Kiesel Jr. in 5th after serving his drive-through. Lucas Moody avoided the chaos there in the final sector on the last lap to come home in 6th, and Jason Wallet also navigated his way around the chaos to come home in 7th. In the end for iRacing, I think we saw him caught up in that wreck as well, so I guess he got that Drexel machine rolling after the contact. Ryan Dunham from Embry-Riddle in 8th, and 9th is Alexander Diamond, who was kind of behind all the chaos and snuck home to take home a couple points for Drexel University. And Aiken Lamar, we saw he was a bit of an innocent victim when that crash started, just got turned in on with no room to go. He'll come home, he'll get a single point for Howard Community College, but behind Aiken Lamar, it's a bit of a penalty galore right now at the end of the races. There will be Ricky Paz, preliminarily 11th. From Valparaiso University, Michael Tognati in 12th for College of San Mateo, Nicholas Patinella in 13th for Robert Morris University, and then Robert Marzan in 14th for Florida International, and Tristan Leclerc in 15th, 1 lap down. From 16th on back, we had a couple drivers retire. Adrian Tubakovic in 16th, Alex Hallinar in 17th for Binghamton, and then Nick Stockner comes home in 18th for Clemson. Josh.
Woo! I gotta go sit on the bench with a Gatorade towel over my head after that one, Matt. But I'll tell you what, there's a couple folks that are doing that right now. The first one finished in 3rd place tonight after all the calamity for St. Clair College in 3rd place. It was Athena Leclerc. And Athena, walk us through that one. We knew it was going to be more exciting in the second heat. But maybe your most recent moment was letting positions 2 and 3 have at it there in turn 1. That worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. I had to pretty much limp it home for the last 10 laps because I ended up getting a lot of incident points early on due to avoiding people. But it was definitely interesting to see.
Yeah, Athena, that was a great. Both races were fantastic tonight. I think you really took charge of the opportunities given to you. Some chaos in front led to some great finishing positions, but a great job last week as well at the Australian Grand Prix. You're on a bit of a purple patch right now. Do you think you can continue this form over the next couple of races and continue to stack those podiums?
I mean, I think we're definitely top 5 pace. I've been putting like hundreds and hundreds of laps of practice into these races now. Now that like I'm trying to get better at road racing, I don't want to be in the position I was before. So I definitely think there's more podiums to come in the future. Just got to keep it clean and keep practicing.
Well, congratulations. We can see that the practice is paying off. I think maybe I misspoke earlier. iRacing scoring you second amongst that. And yeah, I was trying to keep up with the scoring tower for most of the night up here in the booth. But before we let you go, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to? Thank you. That makes this possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to thank Dan Banner for bringing this team together and being able to give me charge of it. It's been an interesting season so far. Thanks to our sponsors, Tim Hortons, Subway, St. Clair alumni, the whole bunch. They put a lot of money into our facility to make sure that we can keep running every single week like we do.
There you go. Well, congratulations, Athena, St. Clair. Very fast pace tonight and probably the most difficult race to make it through of the season.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and best of luck.
Yeah, Matt, no surprise there as a second place finisher, Athena Leclerc, as I stand corrected. Yeah, really fast pace through, and you got to put it together, Matt. Right, has the pace. Obviously, she said a bunch of laps, seat time. That pace is going to come on, but being such a long time sim racer and driver, it makes sense that right finally the racecraft. I should not say finally. I mean it's the racecraft is there, and the discipline is there, right? We saw her let those two cars go, bedlam in the first corner, and that's where the second place finish comes from. But we can now talk to our third place finisher from Penn College of Technology, Austin DeLong, the Big Blue Machine. Austin, man, how does it feel from up there?
Well, this is my very first podium in F4, so I'm very grateful for that. I've been running the series since I started when it was a GT3 series, so I basically started doing all the road course racing just to learn more about it, because I have a very strong oval background. But getting third place here, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, Austin, and to get third place at a track like this where it's just chaos around every corner, and we talked about it up here in the booth all night tonight, how this is really the first sort of FIA Grade 1 track where a lot of your runoff here is just straight asphalt that you can really use to get time around here. How much discipline did it take tonight to really stay out of the incidents and just not have to get all those incident points where you have to worry about maybe doing a drive-through penalty?
Yeah, I finished the race with about, I think, 9 incident points. The second to last turn is really hard to gauge, so I think I got all of them from going off track there. But other than that, I mean, I just kept it clean, kept it slow, out of trouble. I didn't really take any huge risks, so that definitely helped. But yeah.
Well, congratulations, Austin and Penn College Technology. You guys have been working hard there for a minute and adding a lot of drivers to your stable there pretty quick. So, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, makes this possible for you, that you want to thank before we let you go celebrate tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank both my parents for watching, my girlfriend Savi, my friend Nate. They always tune into the streams. I obviously like to thank Penn College of Technology for donating a couple of new setup rigs so we can strengthen our iRacing team. We've grown to about 8 members this season, so very grateful for that. Yeah, and then everyone in the CIL that makes these races happen. It's amazing.
Well, it was certainly amazing to watch tonight. We didn't know what was going on. I'm still waiting for the scoring tower to update in some form or fashion on my screen. But you got it, man. Podium, Penn College of Technology, Austin DeLong. That 22 machine was fast tonight. Congrats, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
There you go. I wondered if it was Matt, but first podium for Austin DeLong, who has earned it. Championships at home there in Pennsylvania on his dirt track, and a lot of fast speed there. both in the Summer Series and the Cup side, the road side. But not surprising to see such a performance tonight. And you can tell he races, Matt. He played it smart. But there you go. So now on your screen, we have the opportunity to talk to the race winner tonight. Actually, the double race winner, R. Muhammad Ali from Ball State University. And that you may have had tonight, Alif, the calmest race of anybody, because you were about 20 seconds of the field the whole time, ahead of the field.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that was kind of just trying to extend the gap and not really get tangled in the scrap behind us. I think that was what me and Kale were doing at the first race. And Kale drove a really good race, I think, trying to hunt me down. And then race 2, I think you guys saw all the entertainment that was going on the track. So yeah, good win, good double win.
Yeah, Alif, you call it entertainment, and it sure was entertaining for us up here in the booth tonight. But that second race, obviously, you had to navigate through the chaos there. We always, discuss how do these faster drivers cope with these maybe slower drivers in front of them after the top 10 invert, and especially around a track like this where it's so easy to get an off track and incident point, and those can rack up quickly over 15 laps. So were you going into that first lap having a strategy, maybe thinking I can use an off track or two the first couple laps to try to get up some positions on track?
Well, for me, I think I was trying not to get any sort of off tracks or any sort of incident points. I think that was my goal. If not, yeah, it can add up. 12 or 13 points is very easy. If anyone tries to pull a dummy or a dive bomb on you, it can be 4x just like that. So I think that was my strategy. And then obviously just going at it, just managing the tires, managing the race. It was very hot temps out on track, and but yeah, good stuff, good win, and really happy with the performance.
Well, you'd have to be happy to come out on top of the podium after this one, and we'll ask you the same question that we ask you. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to that makes this possible for you here tonight?
Oh yeah, for sure. My Ball State Esports team, all my teammates, Kale, Lucas, and Kelton, who's been watching us from the background. All the academy drivers, all the varsity drivers, our esports director Dan Marino, and my family from Singapore was watching, and also Kale's family, who also tuned into the stream.
Well, that is a good crew to have behind you, supporting you. And congrats again. First place, two wins tonight in both heats was not easy to do. And a very clean race to boot. For Ball State University, congrats, R. Muhammad Alif.
Thank you very much. See you guys next week.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, there's not much to say. Everybody else was, conducting small fights behind him, and he was up front right then, reading a magazine and trying to tune the radio. I am sure. He had an opportunity to get out to the front. You heard him. He kept the car clean, and it paid off.
Yeah, calling those battles behind the Leafs small fights might be a bit of an understatement for what we saw tonight, because those were some absolutely insane, intense fights. They were tooth and nail for every inch on the track, and I think some drivers probably wish they could have backed off a little bit, maybe conserve a couple of those off tracks and incident points from maybe later in the race where they wanted to use an off track, or avoid getting a drive-through penalty, because we saw a lot of those in the second race. So I'm sure some drivers would like to go back and change a few things, but hindsight's 20/20, and it was a great battle up and down the field. It was super difficult to pass around here.
It was super difficult to pass, and that's just the nature of this racetrack, Circuit of the Americas, and it's one of my personal favorites. It is more technical. It helps if you have some background. You got a lot of seat time. It is hard to make your debut here, but that is, I don't know if we can take much more. I think that is all, Matt, for tonight here in the Formula College round 5 of 13. So we're getting there to the midpoint of the season, but we will be back on track same time next Wednesday and also next Monday, having some oval racing. Both series go live with the green flag at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that we'll have to take some time, catch a breather, because it's going to be very exciting in the Cup race on Monday, and then again Wednesday night. Same thing, 2 sprints to decide the winners there in the Formula College race next Wednesday. And from us, Josh up here in the booth and Matt hanging out with me, it has been our pleasure to bring you all the battles, big and small, the off tracks, and the excitement, the victory donuts there at the end here tonight. And that is all from us. Thank you for watching, hanging out with us, and stay fast.